Welcome back to the channel, guys. I haven't done much on the car lately. I was able to install my roll bar. I'll show you which bar I got. So the bar I went with was from a company called Motorsport Roll Cages. Got hooked up with a guy named Wayne Owens over there. He helped me pick out the options that I wanted. Ultimately, I wanted to make sure I had a bar that'll fit with a hardtop, whether it was OEM or DG Motorsports. This specific top is a DG Motorsports that came with this car. I got it all powder coated by them. The color, you can't really see it good on the camera, but it's Laguna Seca blue. I tried to get it matched as close as possible because that's one of my favorite blues. It has rear stays, has the harness bars, so I can run my harnesses. I ultimately took out all of the seatbelt tower. Most people will not need to do this. I didn't have to do that in my white car. So this bar fit absolutely perfect with all the OEM stuff other than the plastics, which he said I could have trimmed, and I know I could have trimmed it, but I didn't really feel like trying to mess with it. So I just stripped it all out. But a cool thing that I did with these NCs, and I don't know if anybody else has ever done it before, but the NA carpets in the back, NA or NBs, they actually fit really well back here. There's a little bit of a dead space up top, but if I were to kind of like, if I bolted it up to the rain rail, it would have covered this whole thing. But just laying it in there, and I cut a little round for the bars and stuff, it fit in here really perfect, and it covered all of this, basically the sheet metal and stuff. And yeah, I really liked how it looked. It didn't look like bare metal how it is in here, but this is gonna be the track car, so I don't really care if it looks like bare metal or not. So yeah, that's the bar. Everything's perfect about it. The next thing I'm going to be filming is the sway bars, a set of Whiteline suspension bars. It's a 26 millimeter front and a 16 millimeter rear, solid sway bars. The front is 2-point adjustable and the rear is 3-point adjustable. I had these on my white car with the exact same coilover setup. Really liked how it handled. I ended up doing the front bar in the softest position and the rear bar in the middle. And I believe that was a really good handling characteristics of having the stiff coilovers, the stiff spring rates, and the stiff bars. So I'm going to be putting these in with the spherical endlinks. So I've had the front sway bar off since I've done the swap on this car, so it's going to make it a little bit easier. All I have to do is really just snake in my new bar, bolt it up, and then I'll do the spherical end links. Okay, so the bar's now laying in the correct position. What I did was take off the mounts for the radiator. That way it slides forward a little bit. Don't put too much pressure on it because you have the power steering and the radiator hoses, but now the bar's fully in there. I could put the brackets on, and then I'll start working on the end links. So these Whiteline sway bars come with lateral locks to stop lateral movement back and forth. It's always good practice to put some lube that they supply on the end of the bushing. As you can see how close it is, metal and poly will rubbing together will make some noise. So if you put some grease on there, it will hopefully eliminate all that noise. Sway bar kit from Whiteline, you're going to be getting end links that have ball joint style ends on both sides. So what I ended up doing was going to McMaster Car and getting the spherical ends. These are easily obtainable. Comes with the nuts and all that stuff. I am using hardware because they don't provide hardware, but the only thing Whiteline I'm using is the actual middle turnbuckle piece. It is a long bolt, washer, dust boot, and then another washer, and then a nylock nut. And then I still have the adjustability from the turnbuckle. I'll tighten all of these. I'll tighten actually the bottom down, and then I'll put the car on the ground, and I'll see how this is going to settle in, and then I'll be able to adjust the height to make sure there's no preload on the bar. I went with sphericals because they're a little bit tougher than ball joint style end links. I'll get more of a true bar rate by having less flex between the head of the joint to the bar, so that'll be really good on the track. There's the passenger side end link installed. And then here's the driver's side. So I'm gonna start working on the rear sway bar now, and then I'll put those end links in. I need to fix this exhaust, it hangs really bad. So with the front and the rear sway bars on, I have the front and rear end links on, where the bottom of the end link is bolted down, it is tight, but the top going to the bar is just snug to where once I put it on the ground, it'll have load on it and I can tighten it. And once I'm under the car, I will show you how to adjust your adjustable end links. And this can be for any brand, as long as it's an adjustable end link, I'll show you how to adjust them. Okay, so I have the car on the ground. I drove it up to the gate and backed it up onto these blocks. I don't have to have it on blocks to adjust them, but I can't get my jack under there without them, so it'll help bring the car up a little bit. But the car's on the ground now. This is exactly what you want. Now it's going to be a little bit easier for me since I have the front bumper removed and the under tray, but I should be able to get in there and adjust the turnbuckles and then tighten everything up and get no preload on. What you're looking for when you're doing adjustable style end links with a turnbuckle is you should be able to move this turnbuckle by hand back and forth really easy, basically with your fingertips. Right now there's a little bit of bindage, but it's to be expected. Right about here, I can move this back and forth with my fingertips. So if I try to go this way, really turn it much more, I can't move it back and forth. But if I loosen it, come back down, you can kind of see the bar going up and down too. But right here, I have no preload. So what I do is lock these nuts down and you're set. But what you want to do now is go to the other side and make sure it's very close to the same. And then once those are done, you can fully tighten these down. So exact same concept for the rear. I can wiggle this back and forth. There's a little bit of bindage, but it's to be expected. But if I try to go up or go one way, turning it, I'm pushing up on the bar. And if I can bring it back down the opposite way, I'm pulling down on the bar. So you're trying to get it into that sweet spot where there's no preload on the bar at all, which is basically like right here. I can't really push it up or pull it down any further. So this is where you would want to get your wrenches, get in here and tighten all this up. And that's it for this week's video. Thanks for watching. I have a couple more things to do with the car. I already have brakes installed. I did my roll bar. I now have just done my sway bars and my end links. So I just need to go in alignment and I should be able to take this thing out on the track. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.